In today's session, we are going to discuss about modern machining process part 2, electro discharge machining and chemical milling. In the previous class, we have studied different types of energies. Based on that, we have classified different types of modern machining processes. Now, in the previous class, we have studied about mechanical energy. In that, we have studied in detail about ultrasonic machining. In this class, one classification on electrical energy, another classification on chemical energy, that is electro discharging machine and chemical milling machine we are going to discuss today. Right. Now, first one is electro discharge machining. So, or electrical discharge machining. So, what will happen here? In electrical discharging machine, the energy used is electricity. The electricity when we supply and it comes through the sparks, repetitive sparks. Due to the repetitive sparks, the material on the workpiece gets eroded. Erosion takes place. That is, light material will take place. When this spark comes and concentrates on the workpiece material, due to its temperature, that material will melt, and after melting it becomes vaporized, light vaporized, and material removal is also low. So, that is the principle here. That is why this electro discharge machining is also called as electro spark machining as well as electro erosion machining. So, electro erosion machining and electro spark machining. So, any of these three names gives us only one type of things. Now, let us come to the details of what is electro discharging machining, how the process is going on. Now, let us see what is electro discharge machining. It is a process of metal removal by a controlled erosion through a series of electrical sparks. It is a process of material removal. So, material is removed. How? By a series of electrical sparks. So, electrical sparks continuously emits, and through that erosion takes place because of this electrical sparks. And how this erosion takes place? Controlled erosion within the limits. Whatever the material we have to remove, that amount of material will be removed. That is called electro discharge machining. Another point is, it removes or shapes metal by electrical discharges between the cutting tool or electrode and an electroconductive workpiece in the presence of dielectric fluid. So, removes or shapes the metal. How? By electrical discharges. Where is this electrical discharge? Between the cutting tool and workpiece, between the cutting tool and workpiece, and here the cutting tool is made as electrode and workpiece is made as a anode, and how? In the presence of dielectric fluid. So, these two are immersed in the dielectric fluid, and this dielectric fluid should have the electroconductivity, conduction of electricity should be there, and this is how the process going on. Next, this process does not use mechanical cutting forces. So, in this process it is used by electrical energy. So, there is no question of mechanical vibration, that is energy. So, that vibrations may not be there, so that thermal stresses etc. may not be there, so that the material will not get undue properties or stresses etc. That is another advantage in this particular case. Now, further let us see what is the EDM. So, this is electrical discharge takes place. So, in this energy is electrical discharge. Intense heat is generated. So, I told you when the spark emits and attacks on the workpiece, heat is generated. How much heat is generated? 1000 to 12,000 degrees centigrade heat is generated. Because of that, metal will melt. So because of that, whatever that workpiece material is there, it melts and evaporates the material in sparking zone. So here the important thing is it melts and evaporates the material in sparking zone. The melting and evaporating should be within the limits of sparking zone. It should not be in other area. Then removal of material takes place by repetitive short-lived electric sparks. So removal of material, whatever the material here evaporated or these things and removed, that is takes place by repetitive short-lived electric sparks. Repetitive. So these sparks will come very often, simultaneously it comes, continuously it comes, and this spark is having short-lived, very less time it takes, and because of that this process takes place. Now whatever this process I told now, the procedure how it, now let us see how the principle of EDM takes place. In this figure, as I told, workpiece, this is the workpiece and this is the tool. Workpiece is made, sorry, here it is wrong. Workpiece is made as anode and tool is made as a cathode. Here it is a tool is cathode, workpiece is a anode, and here this is the spark. Continuously it occurs between workpiece and a tool. Because of this repetitive spark, here you see this red spot, it is got a ionized field, and here material melts and evaporates. So here this is the removal of the material from the workpiece. In the same case, in this tool also gets eroded. In the tool here also gets eroded. So that is another disadvantage in this EDM that we will come later discuss about that disadvantage. But here what is happening is, we have to see that when the erosion takes place or the metal removal takes place, the more amount of material should be removed on the workpiece, so that the workpiece is made to anode and tool is made to cathode. When the tool is made to cathode, what will happen is, that is due to this ionization, some carbon film will be formed on this particular tool. When the carbon film is formed on the tool, what will happen is, the erosion or the metal removal in the workpiece takes less. That is why less metal removal takes place in this tool, whereas here it is more. And here what is that we need is, whatever this spark comes, this should attack at particular point only. It should not attack all these things. So wherever we want to remove the material, that spark should, the concentration should be only on that particular spot. So for that we are using this dielectric fluid. So this dielectric fluid is having different functions. The another thing is, here it is, you can see this is the zones with these vertical lines. Within this zone, this spark should be attacked. It should not deviate from this place to this place, so that wherever the material should be removed, there only. So in this dielectric fluid is there, it should be a electrical conductivity should be there, and what it gives is, it ionizes. When it comes here, it ionizes, and immediately when it comes to here, it deionizes. When it ionizes, what it will make is, it will try to concentrate the total spark only at the place where we want to remove the material, so that it will not deviate, or the concentration of the spark will not be in different places. For that purpose, we are going to take here this zones. In this, the other dielectric fluid properties are there, that we will see in the later course of a thing. Now this is how we are going to study about this principle of electrical discharging machine. Now we have seen what is the principle, how it acts. So spark should come and it should attack on the workpiece. Workpiece is made as anode, tool is made as a cathode, and the spark should be concentrated at one particular place where the material should be removed. For that particular purpose, we are given dielectric fluid. Now, let us see how this dielectric fluid comes, how the spark generates, how it affects. That gives us the process of EDM. Now, let us see process of electrode discharge machining. Now, here if you see, this is the work. This workpiece is placed on the table, and here this is the area where that we have to remove the material. This work and table both are immersed in a tank. What is this tank? This tank is a dielectric fluid will be there. So, here in this case work and table is immersed in the dielectric fluid. Up to this level we have put the dielectric fluid, and here the spark comes. Let us see here. So, when the sparks comes and attacks here, so that metal removal takes place. Now, what happens is, when the spark is to be produced, there should be certain gap between workpiece and tool. So, how that gap should be maintained? So, when the gap is less or more, again the spark may be intensity, or in sometimes the spark may not come. So, that is why the important thing is here the spark should be maintained, the gap between the tool and the workpiece should be maintained. Always the gap should be constant. For that particular purpose, we have given here servo motor. The function of the servo motor is it maintains constantly constant gap between the tool and the workpiece. So, that is the function of a servo control, and this is the tool holder which holds the tool, and this is the direction of the moving of the tool, that is up and down movement of the tool. And here you can see totally this is immersed in the dielectric tank, and here the current control is there, this is the power supply. And here what is the purpose of current control? How much amount of material is to be removed? If the material to be removed is more, then you increase the current. If the material to be removed is less, then you decrease the current. So, that current control can be made. That means, when we increase the current, we will get more metal removal and it leads to the rough cutting, and when we decrease the current, less material will be removed, and so that it will be used for finish cutting. And here this is a dielectric tank where all the dielectric fluid will be stored, and here when this machining is going on, the material will be removed. So, that always you have to see that the material in the dielectric fluid should be removed. So, that is why we are going to give here pumping of a dielectric tank continuously here, and when the machining is there, this dielectric fluid gets heated. When the dielectric fluid gets heated, again it loses some, so that is why we have to cool it. That is why we are going to pumping here, and through this again we are recirculating it. While pumping, we are seeing that the temperature of the dielectric fluid will be less or decreasing, as well as the metal removal takes place, so that the contaminants will be removed. By making certain filtering mechanism, we can make it, so that again further or in addition we can send a cleaned dielectric fluid, so that the whatever the removed material is there, they will not obstruct the further machining, that is erosion taking place here. And after certain time, we have to drain the dielectric fluid through this way, and this is the pump for circulating of the dielectric fluid, and in between here we can keep the filter, so that it can filter the contaminants due to machining, and after certain time total dielectric fluid will be removed from this particular door. So, this is how the process of EDM takes place. Now, let us see each one by one, whatever that I have told now, how it acts, how the procedure takes place. And again here you can see in this particular case, when there is a tapered form is there, then the tool is also made in this way. Now, here this is the work, and this is how that we go for producing the tapered surfaces, and this is how the mechanism takes place, the plasma channel, etc. And here the tool, as I told you, it is a cathode and work is made as anode. This is how to make different types of EDMs, that is different operations in EDM. So, when we go for tapering, we do these type of things. And now let us see this way. What I told is, here the dielectric fluid is important. So, when the dielectric fluid we are sending, how we send it? So, in this case it was immersed, but in some of the cases it may not be immersed, or it may be immersed, and in that case we have given certain supply through the pump. So, how the dielectric fluid will be flushed or supplied? So, that is, it can be suction through electrode. That means, here the thing is, the dielectric fluid can be sent through the electrode or through the workpiece, or not either electrode or neither electrode nor a workpiece, it can be flushed out directly. So, the dielectric fluid can be sent through the electrode and through the workpiece, and without those things it can directly send out. So, again in the through the workpiece, when we send the dielectric fluid through the workpiece, again that flow of the dielectric fluid may be done through the suction or pressure, and again we may send certain dielectric fluid in certain methods through the electrode. In that case again the electrode flow may be through the suction or again pressure, and in another case that directly side flushing can be done. Now, let us see this figure. Here the suction through the electrode. So, the dielectric fluid is flowing, this is the electrode, this is the workpiece, it is a suction through the electrode. So, it is sucking, whereas here this is pressure through the electrode. Now, here you see the dielectric fluid comes inside to the workpiece and goes to the up towards the tool, whereas here the dielectric fluid, that is pressure through the electrode, coming to the through the electrode and going out of the workpiece, reverse directions. In the same way, suction through the workpiece. So, when the dielectric fluid is coming through the workpiece, then here you can see it going like this, whereas pressure through the workpiece, it is in a opposite direction, and this is called jet flushing. This here we are sending it through the side. So, here whatever the erosion takes place, that because of due to this flushing, it throws away the whatever the removed materials are there, it goes. But in this jet flushing we have to do one thing, is that flushing should not be both sides, from this side as well as that both sides. If you flush, what will happen is the resulting effect is a nil. So, whatever the contaminants or the erosion removal material is there, that will be formed there only, and it causes certain problems while machining. So, that is why when we go for jet flushing, it is to be kept important that we should not send them through the two sides, only one side should be there, right. Now, we have seen how the dielectric fluid should be supplied. Now, let us go for processing of EDM, right. Now, the spark creates small craters in the workpiece and tool by the process of chemical combination, fusion and evaporation. So, in the previous figure, if you see two red spots, one on workpiece as well as one on a tool. So, those circles are called, red circles are called craters. So, sparks, due to the sparks emitting through the electrode, create small craters in the workpiece and as well as tool by the process of chemical combination. So, what is this chemical combination? Chemical combination of fusion and evaporation. That is, here fusion is also taking place as well as evaporation is also taking place. That is, due to fission, material is removed, and because of this metal is very less in the thickness or dimensions, and it is high heat is there, so it evaporates. Now, next is the process of erosion takes place simultaneously on the workpiece and the tool. So, simultaneously at a time erosion takes place on the workpiece and on the tool, right. Next is the rate of erosion, production of time, surface quality can be regulated by changing the quantity of electrical energy supplied. That is, how much erosion should be taken place, how much time we have to take, what is the quality, how much amount of material to be removed, production time, you want to go for with less time or more time, surface quality, whether rough finishing or fine finishing. Then how you get all these things can be regulated by changing the quantity of electrical energy supplied. So, in the previous figure I have given current control. So, that is gives here this thing, and here as I already told you, more energy, more erosion, and this is called a rough finishing. And in case of less energy, less erosion, and it is used for finishing work. So, this is how by controlling the current we can do these things, right. Now, what is that we have to do? We have produced the spark, it removed the material, and we have seen how much amount and whether it is for rough or finishing. But is there any process to improve the effectiveness of EDM? How effectively that we can improve or remove the material? That is the only thing is here, whatever the spark comes, it should be attacked on that particular spot where we have to remove the material, so that heat will not be lost to other parts of the workpiece where this is not going to be removed, where the metal removal is not necessary. In such a case, how we have to go for effectively utilizing this particular process? See, submerged in dielectric fluid. So, that is why in the previous figure we have seen that workpiece is submerged in the dielectric fluid. Why it is submerged? Because for improving the effectiveness. So, because of this submerging, we will increase the effect. The pyrolysis of the fluid creates a thin film of carbon in the cathode. The pyrolysis of the fluid creates a thin film of carbon in the cathode. So, I told you that on the cutting tool a film will be formed, carbon film, that is because of the pyrolysis. So, this pyrolysis is nothing but decomposition of material when heating. When heating takes place, the decomposition of material is called pyrolysis. So, here what is happening, because of the sparks heating takes place, because of that heating that decomposition of that dielectric fluid takes place, because of that dielectric fluid decomposition a thin film of carbon is forming on the cathode, that is nothing but a cutting tool, and a compressive force is developed on the cathode surface, and the tool is connected to the cathode. So, why here the tool is connected to the cathode? This is because of, instead if we go for connecting to anode a tool, then what will happen is it removes the material from the erosion takes place more in the tool compared to the workpiece, right. Now, we have seen how the process and principle takes place. Now, what are the elements of EDM? Let us see. The first one is tool and tool holder, work table, power source, servo control system, dielectric fluid. So, these 5 are the elements of electrical discharging machining. Let us see now here one by one how it acts. The first one is tool. So, what is the properties of the tool? It should have high melting point. So, if it is not having high melting point, what will happen? Instead of removing the material, it will melt. So, that is why melting point should be more. Should have excellent electrical conductivity. If the tool does not have any electrical conductivity, there is no question of sparks. Tooling materials are, what are the different types of tooling materials? Stainless steel, copper, brass, graphite, chromium plated materials, etc. All these things comes under the types of tool material. And what is the function of this tool? It reciprocates up and down. So, it reciprocates up and down. Is made cathode and work is made anode. As already I told you, tool is made cathode and work is made anode. And we have given some materials in the previous slide. Now, the other materials, tungsten, copper alloys, etc. are also comes under the different types of materials. The next element is a work table. So, it provides base for placing dielectric fluid tank. So, the function of work table is it provides base for placing dielectric fluid tank and gives longitudinal feed as well as a cross feed. So, the movement of the material longitudinal, that is horizontal, and cross feed, that is the 90 degrees to the towards and away from us, then it is a cross feed. These things will be given by the work table. Next, power source. So, to generate the thing, the power is a DC supply. So, here we are not going to give this AC, it is DC supply and 80 to 300 volts the range, and servo control, this is to maintain a, helps in maintaining a gap. So, how much gap should be there? 0.005 to 0.05 mm, that is 5 by 1000 mm, and whereas here 5 by 100 mm. So, this is how much a small, very small gap it should be maintained. So, that gap should be maintained means with the servo control system. So, this is how servo control acts. Now, let us go to the dielectric fluid. What are its? So, some characters are given and some others. So, the dielectric fluid should be an electrically non-conductive fluid to serve as an insulator between tool and workpiece. It should serve as an insulator and should have low viscosity. Viscosity should be less. If viscosity is more, what will happen? It doesn't take more heat, less heat, so the dielectric will get more heat and loses its properties, and should have high flash point. So, it should have the high flash point. That means when the temperature increases, the dielectric fluid will burn if the flash point is less. That is why it should have high flash point. Another one is should be chemically neutral. So, due to this dielectric fluid, it should not affect the workpiece as well as the tank as well as whatever the fixture that we are going to give. So, it should not affect all these things, and further it should not emit any toxic vapors. So, while machining, because of using the particular dielectric fluid, it should not emit any toxic vapors which inconveniences the human being and deionize rapidly after the spark. So, when the spark produces, it should ionize, and when a spark stops, immediately it should deionize. Also flush off metal parts from the machining zone. So, another function is it flushes off metallic parts from the machining zone. So, when the erosion takes place, when the removal of metal takes place, the particle should be removed. That can be removed by the dielectric fluid because of this flushing. And what are the types of dielectric fluids? Kerosene, deionized water, transformer oil, lubricating oils, mineral oils, etc. are the types of dielectric fluids. These fluids can be used for these purposes. Now, let us see different types of figures here, how the EDM can be made in different type of applications here, how the tool is made, and here you see certain complicated shapes and intricate shapes which cannot be done in the conventional machining. This is how the wire cutting or some shapes, complicated shapes which cannot be produced in the things. All these things are different types of. So, here we have seen these type of things machining in a conventional machining also, but here also it can be done, but only thing is very less removal which cannot be done in the conventional machining. Then we go for this type of things. Now, let us go for what are the advantages of EDM. So far we have seen principles, process and etc., everything, elements of thing. Now, what are the advantages, why we are going to use this, and previously we have seen these figures, those components can be manufactured through conventional machining, but why we are choosing this EDM, that is rapid rate of removal. Rapid rate of removal is there, that is why we are changing this. Hardness of the workpiece is not a factor. So, whatever the workpiece hardness is there, it is not bearing, because here there is no direct contact between the tool and the workpiece, whereas in conventional machining the tool contacts with the touches workpiece, whereas here it is not there is a gap. So, whether and in conventional machining, if the workpiece is hard, tool should be more harder, but whereas here it is not like that. So, whatever the workpiece material is there, whether whatever hardness it is there, the tool does not limits for that. Any tool can be used because it is not touching. Next, complex shapes can be machined with different shape of tools. So, complex shapes can be machined with different shape of tools, that is whatever this complex shapes are there, they may not be produced in the conventional. Possible to machine the most fragile components without distortion due to absence of mechanical force. So, here what will happen is, because no mechanical force are there, no friction is developing, no stress are developing, any type of components we can do with this EDM, and it gives good surface finish. So, we can have good surface finish compared to the conventional machining, that is 50 to 100 microns, and it can be used on various harder materials, any type of material, any hardness material that we can use, and very thin and delicate sections can be machined. Very thin and delicate sections which cannot be done on a conventional machining, we can prefer this. Right. Now, we have seen so far the advantages, then of course, generally disadvantages will also be there. Let us see what are those disadvantages. Electrically non-conducting materials cannot be machined. So, the dielectric fluid which is non-conducting, it cannot be machined. Normally well suited for small sized components. So, here the disadvantage is, that means well suited for small sized components, that is for larger size components it is not used. Possibility of developing micro cracks on machined surface. So, micro cracks will be there, those things will be happened here. So, that is another disadvantage. So, these are the advantages and disadvantages of the things. Tool wear limits the degree of accuracy obtainable. So, here what is happening is, tool wear is also going on taking place. So, that accuracy we cannot obtain more as compared to the other process. Further processes are required, that is light cut or polishing due to recast layers. So, here what is happening is, when the erosion takes place, that layer or the molten material comes out and it forms another layer on another part or the side by the part. So, that relayer will be there, again we have to remove it through the polishing or some other process. Next, the process is slow compared to conventional methods. So, compared to conventional methods, this process is slow, but where the process cannot be done under conventional process, we can do here. Now, let us go for uses. What are the applications of this? It is extensively employed in manufacture and reconditioning of press tools, forging dies, molds, used in injection molding of plastics. So, in all these applications we can use. In addition to this, some others are there for thread cutting, micro hole drilling, helical profile drilling, etc. These things we have seen in the previous figures, number of figures we have seen all these things, and machining of aluminum, stainless steel and honeycomb structures, etc. can be machined in this particular process. And next, sharpening of tungsten carbide cutting tools, which are hardest and is that can be done in this particular electrical discharging machining. Now, let us see some of the figures on this electro discharging machining. So, this is electro discharging machine grinding process center, where we can do, and this is wire cutting block. Through this wire we can cut the material, that is removal of material takes place, and this is the developments in wire cut EDM, and this is workstations of EDM, different types of workstations based on different types of machines and its capacities. See, here you can see multi spindles at a time, number of times you can do this multi spindles. This is used for turbines where the fluids are more on the fluids, so we have to, and here this is a precision spark EDM. So, you can see how the manufactured part is there through EDM, how the machining is done, how it is appears after this. All these things are done here, machining, and these are the templates used for templates. This is for turbines, small holes are here. So, micro holes, etc. And this is how the finished products are here through the EDM. This is EDM machine shop, and like this we are having a different number of applications, and we can use these things. And again you can see here there is a tool, very narrow tool, and here the intricate shapes. This is the shape of the workpiece and this is the tool. like this we can go for different types of things. So, now with this we will conclude this electrical discharging machining. Next, let us go for the chemical milling. So, what is chemical milling and how it acts? So, this in the chemical milling it is used by the chemical energy. So, how the chemical energy comes? The chemical milling is a process of metal removal to close tolerance by immersing the material in a controlled chemical etching solution. So, it is a process of material removal. How to close tolerance? Tolerance is very close by immersing the material in a controlled chemical etching solution. In etching solution, etchant, that is etching is an operation to remove the material. So, what is that we will do here is etchant will be taken, in that workpiece is immersed, and after some time we remove it, so that the metal, because of due to chemical action, the metal removal takes place, and whatever the shape we want we can get those things. That is the process of chemical milling. Now, can we go for any type of materials to be chemical milled? So, let us see, can all materials be chemically milled? Any material that can be dissolved chemically in solution can chemically milled, shaped or deep etched. So, what is that? Any metal that can be dissolved in chemically in solution. So, which chemical or which metal dissolves in chemical solution, that metal can be chemically milled. If that is not dissolved in the solution, then it cannot be used. Examples: aluminum, beryllium, magnesium, titanium and various steels and stainless steels and their alloys are used. Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Ask your question.
Hello sir, what is the expected temperature of radium?
Yes, I have given in the slide. It is 1000 degrees to about more than 1000 degrees.
Okay sir. Another one?
Hello?
Sir, various directed fluids, what are the various directed fluids? What are the?
That I have given,
Kerosene sir?
Yes.
But kerosene has flash point around 50 degrees centigrade sir. In such a case, chances of that is more lesser, then how do you use that one sir?
Then in that case, what is that we will go for is metal removal takes place less, and the heat removed should be less than that 50 degrees temperature. Then only we will take that particular thing. When it is more than that heat developed is more than 50 degrees temperature, then we will change the electric fluid. So, why we have taken here kerosene is, we can take anything, but if you take the kerosene it might be less in cost, but it is limited to when the temperature is less. If the temperature is more, then we will take some other thing. There is nothing rule that only kerosene should be taken. Okay?
Right. How to control number of sparks?
That is due to the current. Current control is given based on that. Due to current voltage regulation or current supply, we have to made it.
Okay.
Right. Thank you. And this is how the chemical machining taking place. So, chemical machining we get chemical milling as well as chemical grinding. Here, as I told, the chemical etchant solution will be there, in that material will be submerged. So, when the material submerged, what will happen is metal removal takes place. So, here you see a maskant is there, mask. So, I want to remove material here only, not total. So, there are two processes, selective process and non-selective process. In selective process, I am not going to take total piece, only in that particular piece, particular area is to be removed. In such a case, total workpiece will be taken where the material should not be removed. At that particular place, the maskant, that is the one layer of film will be applied, and wherever the milling is to be taken place, there it is to being cut. And when this cutting is exposed to the etchant material, metal removal takes place. Now, here if you see, here this is a maskant, so it is covered, so that here the material will not be removed, and here it is exposed to the chemical etchant solution, that is acidic or alkaline. So, what happens? Here this is the metal removal take place from here to here only, though it is not taken place here. And here this is depth 1 and another depth. That is, I have to go for here more depth, compared to here. So, in such a case what will happen is, I will take up to here, then again from here I want. So, I will immerse submerge this particular piece from here only for some more time. That means the workpiece will be raised, so that it can be exposed for more time, so that we can find here the metal removal. So, this is how the machining process takes place, and here you can see this when the workpiece is there, this is the chemical and this is the maskant, and here because of the chemical action taking place, here we are going to cut the material, how the material is being removed. This is another process for the thing. Now, let us see quickly how the principle of chemical milling takes place. So, in 5 steps it takes place. So, first one is cleaning, to remove grease, oils, heavy oxides and other contaminants, because first when we could take the particular piece, it should be cleaned from all the contaminants. It may have grease or oil surface, etc., etc. The second step is masking. So, here the masking is where we doesn't require the machining on that particular workpiece, we have to cover it. So, for that we have to do the masking. It is the application of coating by an appropriate maskant to the workpiece surface. So, whatever the masking we are going with particular material, it is called maskant. So, the application of coating by an appropriate maskant to the workpiece surface. It may be applied by dipping, spraying or by any other methods. So, how we will apply this maskant? By dipping, that is the immersing, or spraying, or by any other methods. And another thing is, what are the materials? Neoprene rubber with resin base is commonly used maskant. So, what type of maskant is to be used, and what is it has to resist a chemical action. So, this has to resist a chemical action. In case if this is also going on taking chemical action, then here our actual aim will be ruled out. Next, it is cured for some time. So, after giving the maskant, it should be cured, it should be dried for certain time. So, that is a cured for some time. The next thing is scribing. So, after applying the maskant, what is that we have to do? Outlines the portions of the removed may be scribed or cut. So, milled, actually where the milling is to be done, at that particular place the workpiece is to be exposed to the solution, chemical solution. So, for that purpose, wherever the milling operation should be done, at that particular portions we have to cut the maskant, remove the maskant at that particular points. So, that is why outlines of portions to be removed, milled may be scribed or cut. The maskant is scribed with the aid of templates. So, here templates, that means we are not going to take one piece or one part, it may be different parts. We have to do number of components, number of times, more production is there. In such a case, we take a template and we keep the template, and based on that we will cut the thing. That is the maskant is scribed with the aid of templates. Cut out portions of the maskant are then peeled off by the hand. So, whatever the maskant we have applied, that is being peeled off by hand, that is removing. It is removing by the hand and exposing the bare metal to the chemical milling solution. So, what happened after removing this, whatever the material is there, that is exposed to the milling solution. So, when it is exposed, what will happen? It removes the material. The next step is etching. So, in the etching solution, that is etching operation is going on taking place in this place, in this operation. So, what is this etching? The part is exposed to the controlled attack of the acid or alkaline, whatever it may be. So, it takes certain time. The metal removal is usually between 0.0125 to 0.025 mm per minute, depending on the type of the material. This is 125 by 10,000, whereas 25 by 1000th of mm of the material removal takes place. That is why we are going to use this type of process compared to conventional machining. Right. Now, fifth step is rinsing. So far whatever that we have done, we have applied maskant, we have removed it, and again we have immersed in etchant solution, and all these chemicals are there. So, we have to remove those things. So, the fifth step is rinsing. Checking for the proper depth. The metal is cleaned off all chemicals by rinsing, and the maskant is removed by hand, chemical stripping or mechanical brushing. So after this, what is check for the proper depth, whether we got that particular depth measurement or not. If it is okay, then metal is cleaned off. If that is not proper depth is not reached, again you can keep for some more time, it is exposing for some more time. The metal is cleaned off all chemicals by rinsing, and the maskant is removed by hand commercially. So here what will happen, after that proper depth is reached, what is that, we have kept certain maskant on the workpiece. So that maskant should be removed, and because that maskant should not be here, so it can be removed either any type, whatever the available and whatever the things that we have to take. Now let us go for different types of processes in a thing. Rinsing is also over. Here you see chemical milling process. So whatever the process, 5 steps we have given, this is the workpiece, and here the maskant is applied, and here this is the maskant cutting. So I want to go for here only milling operation. So that's why I cut here, and here this is the exposed into the etching solution, so that here the metal removal taken place, and here this color filling, and here this is the final product. Here the curve contours we got it curves, and here this cleaning is there. After cleaning we got this type of things. So this is how the milling process takes place in a step by step. Now let us see the chemical process of. So here how the process of chemical milling takes place. So this is the tank. What is that we told? The etchant should be in the tank. So here this is the tank, and this is the etchant, that is chemical solution. In this we have to keep the workpiece. So this is the workpiece. Here these yellow spots are not where we actually want to mill. So here the metal removal takes place in this particular direction. Here the metal removal takes place in this particular direction in yellow spots. So this blue one is the maskant, and here these yellow parts are cut out, scribed out, and these particular places we need a milling operation, that is removal of metal. So that's why, and here this is and we kept here for certain time, so that the metal removal takes place in these yellow spots, and we will get it. But now I want that there should be some tapered surfaces. In such a case, how we have to go for it? So when the tapered surfaces are there, what will happen is throughout its length the metal removal is not constant. In such a case, we have to raise the workpiece slowly at uniform rate, so that we can get the required taper. Now let us see again in this figure, we can find how the tapered section will be removed. See here, this is a tapered one. Here it is more taper. So what is that we are going to take? Slowly we are increasing the height, that is slowly raise the workpiece. So what is happening when we raise the workpiece? Here less time exposing, so that wherever it having more time, so more material removal takes place. This is how the chemical milling operation takes place. Now this is how the process of chemical milling. Let us see process of chemical milling. It is cleaned by removing greasy substances and contaminants, covered with chemical resistance material, cutting for hardening of maskant, curing for hardening of maskant. So for certain time we have to keep it. Outline portions are to be scribed out. So this is all cut out portions of maskants are then peeled off. This is how the figures that I have explained in this particular chemical milling. Now let us see what are the applications of advantages and disadvantages of chemical milling. So the advantages of chemical milling: metal removal is possible from surfaces which are not accessible for conventional milling. In which conventional milling it is not accessible, there we can remove the metal removal. Metal removal from all the surfaces of a workpiece is possible at a time. So here in the previous figure, what is that we have done? 4 spots, yellow spots we have taken. So 4 at a time we have done it, whereas in conventional one after another we will do it. The next point is curved or bent surfaces can also be milled at uniform rate. So curved or bent surfaces, either any type of curve, any bent surface, any complicated shapes at uniform rate that we can measure mill. Next, smooth and clean surfaces can be produced without burrs on the workpiece. Generally in conventional machining we will find certain lines, surfaces. So, on the surfaces that can be avoided in this particular case. Taper section can be produced as I explained in the previous case, possible to many hardened steels. So, for milling hardened steels we use this thing, and no mechanical forces are involved. That is another advantage, so that no thermal stresses will be produced. Cost of milling is low compared to less operator skill is required because it is only immersed in the chemical. Operation time is relatively less. Extremely thin materials can be worked without distortion. So, without spoiling, 0.375 mm, that is 375 by 100th of mm can be machined in this, and tolerance of plus or minus 0.075 mm are obtainable in 12 mm depth. That is, if it is more in depth we cannot control the tolerance. Up to 12 mm we can control the tolerance up to this particular limit. And this is the chemical milling operation for cutting of things. Even very delicate things which can be cut off here, that can be done in this particular thing. We go for disadvantages of chemical milling. Etchant vapors are corrosive. So, whatever the vapors are there, they are being corrosive. Next, commercially only aluminum is chemically milled. So, in commercial scale aluminum only, that is the other things may be cost more. Sharp inside radii cannot be produced. This is a plural of radius. Sharp inside radius, whatever the sharp radius inside can be produced, which cannot be. Not recommended for etching holes. Not recommended for etching holes because we may not get a correct applications. Right. Now, preparation of plates for printing and engraving. For that also we can do it. Highly intricated details, that is, and for etching of metals for decorative purpose, whatever we have seen in domestic purpose, aerospace parts, that is aeroplanes etc., where we need less weight, more strength. In such a case, this is very, very helpful. And further applications, material handling equipment, racks, tanks and fuel measuring devices, in all these cases it is going to be helpful. Now, printed circuit board, this is called PCBs in electronics or electrical things, we use these type of things. Now, let us see quickly how these figures are done, are the components made by chemical milling. You can see this, the thickness, very less thickness. In such a case, we can do this machining by, see, you can engraving. This is etching applying, etching material, and these are the products which are to be, which are milled in a chemical milling. Very less, you see the profiles, very complicated profiles and very less thin thickness. And here this is also one type of like engraving, and this is the V block, how the machining can be done chemical milled. All these things are chemical milled. So far we have seen all the modern machining process, that is one in mechanical ultrasonic, another one in electrical energy, that is EDM, electrical discharging machining, and another one is a chemical energy, that is a chemical milling.